Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the head of state participates in the second international forum, A Belt, a Road, in Beijing, in China. The last meetings before the legislative elections in Spain. Welcome to our newsroom. On the second day of his visit to China, the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, participated in the opening today of the second international forum, A Belt, a Road, which is held at Chinese capital Beijing. Or 30 heads of state and government took part in this forum, including the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, who is at the head of an important delegation composed of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mohammed Ali Yusuf, the Minister of Finance, Ilyas Musa Dawale, and more than 1,000 Chinese business leaders and international experts, but also more than 5,000 Chinese journalists and reporters in the world. The project, A Road, A Belt, was launched in 2013 by the Chinese President Xi Jinping, and he aims to create a land and sea belt linking China with nearly 68 countries in Asia, Europe, and Africa for facilitating the import of Chinese products around the world. This large investment program also includes strategic countries in Africa, among them Djibouti, located on the edge of one of the most frequent shipping routes in the world. Djibouti finds itself in the heart of the new Silk Road. Versatile ports and ports specializes. At the opening of this summit, President Guelleh held a speech in which he praised Chinese initiative on the Silk Road. Listen to the head of state.
الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.
Your Excellency Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China, distinguished head of state and government, Excellencies, ambassadors and representatives of the diplomatic corps, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in your ranks, names and quality, any protocol observed, I would like to congratulate the organizations of this second edition of the One Belt, One Road Forum by His Excellency Xi Jinping. Allow me also to express thanks to the President, his government, and the Chinese people for the warm welcome. It is a great pleasure for me to participate in the second forums of this brilliant cooperation initiative, Belt and Road, which brings together this year some 14 heads of state and representatives of more than 100 countries. This forum dedicated to the new Silk Road will be a meeting place and exchange of economic and industrial knowledge that will allow us to perfect our development strategies. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, through this initiative, China proposes the promotion and construction of a new type of international relations of a community of destiny for humanity. It promotes mutual respect, equal consultation, openness, inclusion, and reciprocal benefit. China also insists on an approach to global governance characterized by the principle of dialogue, synergy, and sharing, with the aim of promoting connectivity worldwide. It is a new way of relation between states based on dialogue and partnership that opens here. This approach supports the multilateral trading system and promotes a more open, inclusive, balanced, and beneficial economic globalization for all. To do this, our partnership with the Asian giant is also strong and committed because it is based on a common vision that strengthens regional integration and I would even say global. The Belt and the Road aims to improve the connectivity of policies, infrastructure, trade, finance and peoples and the strategic places of Djibouti in the world level. Listen once again to the head of state.
Plusieurs défis se profilent à l'horizon.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Belt and Road aim to improve the connectivity of policy, infrastructure, trade, finance, and people. Good progress has been made in all these areas over the last 6 years, especially in Africa. This initiative coordinates several global visions and strategies by effectively articulating with the United Nations 2013 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It set up a synergy of policies to promote global development. At the regional level, the Belt and Road Initiative aligns with regional development plan and cooperation initiatives such as the ASEAN Connectivity Master Plan, the African Union Agenda 2063, Eurasian Economic Union, and European Union strategy to link Europe with Asia to improve connectivity and support regional economic integration worldwide. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, today we can proudly express that the Republic of Djibouti occupies a place of choice within this project located on the edge of one of the busiest sea lanes in the world, at the crossroads of trade between Africa of the East and the Arabian Peninsula, Asia and Europe. Djibouti is in the heart of the new road of Silk Maritime. My country already has good port and rail infrastructure. This is why Djibouti intends to take advantage of Beijing's plans to become a logistics platform for both the Chinese and African states, to which we must be connected. We open to investors the door of landlocked market in our region. At the same time, it offers an outlet for East African goods and raw material to the rest of the world. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Djibouti's long-term goal is to process 100 million tons of goods a year. The large port infrastructure and the constructions of free zones testify to our desire for economic and strategic partnership. Thanks to this free zone, Djibouti hopes to take advantage of a new movement of relocation of Asian jobs to Africa via East Africa. But to succeed, our country will have to succeed in training and skilled workforce. We are also looking forward to benefiting from the experience and technology transfer of some developing countries in the context of South-South cooperation. In the end, Djibouti will have the financial manna necessary for an industrial takeoff. Djibouti wishes to obtain opportunities arising from the synergy between the strategy. Thanks for your kind attention.
Prospère. Je vous remercie.
The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, participated in the summit roundtables around the belt at the Great Conference Hall of Yankee Lake, chaired by his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping. This roundtable saw the participation of several leaders such as the Egyptian President, the Russian President, the President of Kenya, but also the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Antonio Guterres. The leaders discussed the cooperation of the Belt and Road Project. They reaffirmed their commitment to implement the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Inculcate the children of the Republic to the values of the Republic is under this theme that the armed forces Djiboutians continue their journey in the regions of the interior. Indeed, after Dakhil, it was the turn of the regions of Ali Sabih to welcome the caravan of the Djiboutian armed forces at the camp Harbi was new, and the Asajuk were ready to welcome the military authorities. An awareness campaign on the values of the Republic led by two women, in this case Captain Amina Ahmed Farah and Amina Abdullahi Mahmoud. This awareness raised in caravans of the participations of the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, the Chief of the Defense, General Tahir Muhammad Ali, the advisors of the same guy, General Hassan Ali Kamil, the Chief of the Corps of the Inter-Army Regiment of Ali Sabih, Colonel Abdul Wasi' bin Muhammad, the Prefect of the region, Muhammad Wabri Asowe, the President of the Regional Council, Umar Ahmed Waisa, and an audience of civilians and military families invited for the occasions. In his word of welcome, the Chief of the Corps of the Inter-Army Regiment of Ali Sabih, Colonel Abdul Wasi' bin Muhammad, emphasized above all that the youth of our country is the living force for this unity, must embody our values not negotiable of our republic, he said. The school children invited for the occasion answered questions about the values of the republic's questions prepared by program officials. Answers. The ceremony ended with the presentations of the gift to the children who answered questions about the values of the republic.
dalka hawsha xanuuntayda u damqanin dareenba igu lamaano danguud baan ka hadlayaaye dalkiyo dadkaan u dhasho sibaan ila doonayaa dalkiyo dadkaan u dhasho sibaan ila doonayaa ayani la doonaya kaajana doobida la dooro barwaaqada lagu dabaasho ayani la doonaya walaala istaaxayo dadkeeno laba noqda ayani bididaya afrikada wixii diliyo waxaa dariskeena haysta ayani bididaya.
The army closed this tower by celebrating with the families with the military families. For this reason, the folkloric group Harpi, famous for the songs and sensitization interpret songs in honor of the Republic, which is one and indivisible.
dadaalka hawsha aduuntayda u damqanin dareenba igu lamaano danguudu baan ka hadlayaaye dalkiyo dadkan u dhasho sibaanila doonayaa dalkiyo dadkan u dhasho sibaanila doonayaa umanta laga durko wadan lagu dogsada ayaan ila doonayaa
The common caravans of the Ministries of Labor and Decentralization has organized in Tujura sensitizations and training workshop on the DSC, the Declarations of Service to the Citizen. The DSC is a document in which is written all the commitment of the Djiboutian administration to meet the aspirations of the population. To implement this project, SECRA has invited the different regional departments to explain the purpose of this project and the opportunity to explain the ways and the most appropriate way to route this program within our administration. It is in this sense that the SECRA began at hours on the capital and the interior regions in order to train, to sensitize the officials and at the same time to install within this administration. SECRA wishes to offer training in the benefit of these two administrations in order to get closer and explain their respective skills exhaustively. Also, in the framework of regional awareness workshops on the Rio Convention, that is part of the implementations of the project strengthening national capacity to improve decision making and the integrations of environmental obligations. A team led by the project coordinator Ms. Linda Yusuf Qayad and composed of the deputy directors of the development project, the delegate ministries in charge of decentralization, Ms. Aisha Ahmed, and two executives of the environment and Sustainable Development Department, Mr. Jilani Yusuf and Jama Romane, went to the Altas region. After a working meetings with the prefect of the Altas region, Abdullah Idrar, and the president of the regional council, Mr. Ilmi Bouh, in which the outline of the project of capacity building executed by the Ministries of Housing and Urbanism Environment were discussed. This project is timely because it aims to strengthen the institutional capacity of Djibouti so that the countries can respect and integrate the Rio Convention into its political and legislative framework. Moreover, it represents an undeniable asset for the decentralization process because it must initiate decentralized environmental governance among others. As part of the fight against national malaria, the National Institute of Public Health of Djibouti has carried out operations of space spraying in the city of Unity, Dekhel. About these teams with their means of the terminals were dispatched to reduce the proliferation and spread of mosquitoes in the city of Dekhel for a period of 48 hours. As in the previous year, the schools of Arabic education, which is known as Impressible Irshad, organized a ceremony on Thursdays evenings at the end of the academic years 2018-2019 and the farewells of the students of the final years, namely the event took place at the school headquarters located near the high school's Gele battle in the presence, so in the particular, the director of these schools, Halima Muhammad Usman, president of the Irshad Association, who oversee the schools, representative of the Ministries of National Education and Vocational Training, the Ministry of Islamic Affairs, the director of the Arab schools in Djibouti, and dozens of teachers and students also attend this annual event. During this evening, students for the schools present poem songs as well as a short piece of titles about the importance of science and learning. For the international scene, the ones before the early elections in Spain, these are the third elections in this in 3.5 years. The risks of blockage still seems important, whether neither of the two main parties seems able to obtain an absolute majority on its own. Socialist Pedro Sanchez, outgoing prime minister, is given the lead by the polls. This election is a challenge for him because he was not elected and he came to power through a motion of censure against his predecessor Mariano Rajoy. The leaders of this of the Popular Party is Pablo Casado. The Conservative Party is in second position in the voting intentions. The centrist and liberal parties, Ciudadanos, Albert Rivera claims to want to drive out of powers the socialists and wishes out the Popular Party. Pablo Iglesias, leaders of the Podemos to the left him in bad positions. Polls predict a rout. The socialist parties could, however, form an alliance with him. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us.